Weeping Memories, written by Natalya Raine. In a small town north of the countryside lived a quiet and loving family. The family, a father, mother, and son, were well regarded and respected in their community. The son, whom the parents named Slate, grew to be strong, thoughtful, kind, and caring. Many of the young maidens in Oakvere longed to be his wife, and why wouldn't they? He was tall, dark, handsome, mysterious, and he loved his parents. He worked tirelessly in his father's smithy to ensure their welfare. And while the family's business was lucrative and Slate was skilled, he had no time nor interest in courting a maiden until he met Avis. Avis arrived to Oakvere during the 19th year of Slate's birthday. Her family was large and very poor. Her father, a fisherman, soon became bereft after losing his wife to illness and grew to resent his responsibilities. He quickly turned to the bottle to find solace and ease his wounded heart. Avis, the oldest and most beautiful maiden in Oakvere, found herself in quite the predicament. Her siblings had to eat, and she quickly learned that people are hard and cold. Very few people helped her family, and to this day, no one can recall why. Maybe it was because of her beauty, or maybe it was because of her father. Whatever the reason, Avis was left alone to provide for her family. So, she sought a position with anyone who would take her. When the baker, a round and shy man named Henry, began paying Avis with leftover bread from the market, and with the promise that Avis would manage his cart thrice a week, everyone thought the problem was solved. So did Avis, until Henry proposed. It is said that Avis's laughter could be heard miles outside of Oakvere. What she said to him in secret remains unknown. Henry returned home that night, a broken man. He left Oakvere and never returned, leaving his belongings behind. Avis took over as the local baker and even moved her family into Henry's home. She had learned well while working all those months under the humble man. The townsfolk of Oakvere silently watched, waited, and made up all kinds of stories about the beautiful maiden who chased away, or even possibly killed their beloved Henry. And still, no one confronted her. No one said a word. Not even Avis. Life went on. Slate and Avis met for the first time during the harvest of seeds. The sky was bright and the air was warm. Everyone was in high spirits, most especially when Avis arrived with her siblings surrounding her. No man could deny the brilliant beauty whose long blonde hair danced with the wind. Her sharp green eyes glittered in the sun. She was captivating, and every man was mesmerized. Even Slate was having a hard time focusing on the task before him. He couldn't take his eyes off of her. And likewise, the same for Avis. Both were overwhelmed with desire. And soon, after the harvest of seeds, they became the talk of the town. Hushed whispers and shy giggles filled the streets with stories of Slate courting the stern beauty. Sometime later, Avis's father had a meeting with Slate's father. He proposed marriage between the two, but the proposal was rejected. Avis's father left embarrassed, and Slate was instructed to never see her again. Because Slate was a good and obedient young man, he agreed to seek Avis no more. This left Avis needy and soon broken. Some in Oakvere celebrated the repudiation, while others paid no mind. As time went by, Avis grew to be a calculating woman, never trusting another man. She vowed to repay Slate and his family for what they had done, and this she did. Avis proceeded carefully, painfully, and yet patiently, with a plan to ruin Slate and his family's reputation. Her plan worked. The once thriving business crumbled. The family's home fell into despair, all while Avis teased Slate with her beauty, keeping him perpetually at arm's length, determined to entangle him in a cruel game of desire and denial. All seemed lost, and the family's joy and prosperity a distant memory of the past. But it wasn't over yet. Mora, Slate's mother, a retired mana user in her final reincarnation, had finally found peace. She had a loving husband, a home, and a son. Slate, her dearest Slate. She had given up her immortality for him, for her family. Witnessing the devastation wrought by Avis stirred dark emotions within her. Mora vowed to repay the girl. This was not the tranquil existence she had fought for, the quiet life she deserved. No. She would not allow the destruction of her family's peace. This violation must be dealt with, and quickly. Rage surged through Mora's body as she summoned the last of her fading power. With a wave of her hand, Avis was transformed, not into dust, not into a beast, but into a weeping willow, a large tree forever rooted to the ground. Her once shining beauty was now a stark contrast to her silent misery. With Avis now gone, no one was there to tell her side of the story. Her lies were uncovered, and the family restored. And in time, Slate, no longer heartbroken, found solace in Ilara, a gentle village maiden. Their love blossomed, and they often sat beneath the willow tree, laughing and celebrating their union, while Avis could only watch and weep. Mora never revealed her true identity, nor did she tell anyone of Avis's fate. And if you look near Oakveer today, right outside of Slate's old cottage, you can still find a beautiful willow tree destined to watch and weep forever.